Guys, it is Thursday, 6 a.m. I just left my house to head to work. I've got lots of requests recently to do more work vlogs or talk about work, take you guys along with me to work. And yes, I have listened, yes, I've read those. To me, I feel like my work vlogs are so boring. So today's gonna be a compromise between you guys and me. And we're gonna do half a work day and half some fun. And by fun, I mean I've got traffic court, so it should be an interesting day. And I've already started today off on the wrong foot because I ran out of milk. I just used the rest of my coffee creamer, which is fine, but tomorrow's gonna be a struggle. And I didn't pack a lunch, just went to bed too early, I think, so I've just grabbed random snacks. So as long as I can last until lunchtime when I leave, then I should be good. You guys, so today at work we realized it is one of my coworkers' birthdays. So even though we all went out to lunch yesterday together and we hit up the farmer's market, I got some fresh green beans, we are going to lunch today as well. So they're all riding together. I have to ride separately because I don't even have time to go to lunch, to be honest, because I gotta go to court. I don't want to be late. I don't know how traffic's gonna be, but we're gonna wing it and get some tacos. So this should be fun. Nachos were so good. I'm trying to get myself out of this garage. His car in front of me is like looking at everybody's license plates. I don't know what he's doing. Can I go this way? Yes, let me please pay this way. Beep, beep. Here's my coworkers, you guys. I'm creeping on them. They're out there chatting. There's our Golden Globe of Knoxville. Just chilling at this red light for 10 years. It literally just turned green when I was filming. I was sitting there forever. Also, ignore the fact that my face is just flaking off. This freaking new cream my dermatologist got me on, just out here to embarrass me. My whole face is flaking to different shades. Look how dark it is. That's what I'm talking about. It's the cream. I'm just kidding. I'm in a really weird mood. So now we get to go to court. But as promised, in our compromise deal, I was gonna talk some about work. I'm really regretting drinking those 3 waters at lunch. I'm gonna have to pee and I got an hour-long trip ahead of me. This week's been kind of a weird week. I haven't really caught you guys up in months just because it's been kind of boring. Nothing's really changed. I did my last audit, which was based in Chattanooga. We worked out of Knoxville in our office. We were the first audit to do so. To do that, we were working off-site from the auditee and away from the Nashville office. So if it ended up working out after they analyze when we're done with the audit, if they liked what they saw, then it'll probably be implemented for several audits and allow us auditors not to travel as much, which is super exciting for everyone with families and people who hate traveling. However, for me, it
crushes my soul.
So, little sad piece of that, but it works out for the greater good. Not as many people like to travel. So yesterday I moved over to our audit site for the fall audit, which is only like not even a mile away from our Knoxville office, so it wasn't that big of a deal, but I still had to pack up like my entire office and move it over there. I got settled in yesterday. But yeah, we're starting our fall audit. We aren't gonna start overtime until after Labor Day per se, hopefully, we'll see. We are currently kind of in a drag, which we are every time this year because the books for our audit client are not closed yet. They're still open, so you can't really audit financial statements without financial statements. So it'll be another month, 2 months, maybe not quite 2 months before we have permanent numbers to work with. So we're doing like preliminary work, testing the risk. We can still do our little internal control questionnaires once we get those back from the auditee. And for me, just because of the test work that I have to do, I'm doing revenue again this year. And since this is the first time I'm actually on the same audit of my same test work, so I'm actually really excited because I get to work out all the quirks. Like last year was just me trying to figure out what the heck. And this year I can actually go back through my work papers and hopefully be a whole lot more efficient. And that's happy for me because that was a struggle last year for sure. So yeah, for me, there's several test works I can do without needing the financial statements and the books being closed. So I've been working on that all week, coming to like a close of not having much to do. So when that happens, it's a little slower, but we still have like little things to do. Like there's always something to do. It just may not take the whole day. So that's kind of a love-hate relationship, because surprisingly, it's really painful to be bored. I would rather stay really busy, but not to where I'm like losing my mind, which will happen in like 2 or 3 months from now. I won't be losing my mind, but at least I won't have to be studying this busy season. Thank goodness. Oh my gosh, last year was so horrible, and I'll finally not have to do that. So does anyone have any questions? Yes, you in the back, you with the blue shirt. Just kidding. I wish this was like real time so you guys could ask me questions if you have any. You may not. LOL, my coworker told me I need to get bumper stickers of every county I've been pulled over on, like a collection. Like people do when they go traveling, they have every place they've been. Ridiculous. I guess I could answer some popular questions that you guys have had for me, such as #1 question I keep getting is, how will my work life change after the CPA license, or how has it changed? And I am keeping my same job. I really love where I work. I love my daily duties. I'm really happy with work, so I don't plan on leaving anytime soon. As far as my daily duties on the job, they will remain the same for the time being until I in charge audits. So that will come with experience with a few years. I'm assuming 2 years more, 3+ before I become an in charge. Hopefully it's not prematurely. I will be so stressed out. That is not something I'm trying to rush into whatsoever. I'm very content with the responsibilities that I have right now. I have been asked what's next on my to-do list on goals and career and life and whatnot. As far as certifications and studying, I do not plan on doing anything ever again. Like, I am done. No more schooling, no more certifications. Now that being said, the CFE, Certified Fraud Examiner, I would really like to get that. My office doesn't really do anything with it, and so I'd be out of pocket for the money to get the certification, and the membership fees each year are really high. They're more expensive than the CPA. And so for it not to really pay out with work, I don't really see myself getting that certification, but it is something I might be interested in. But yeah, I have no intentions whatsoever on getting a master's degree. I've also been asked if people should get a master's or their CPA license or both. I have my own kind of opinion on that, but it just 100% depends on what you want to do with your accounting career. Are you trying to be CEO of a business? Are you trying to work your way up to partner of a firm? If you got those huge goals, then yes, all the education you can get, all the experience you can get is absolutely necessary. It'll just work better in your interviews to get promoted up to that level. If you're just trying to live life, have a good work-life balance, but make a good salary, I'd say get your CPA license. Without a doubt, if you're able financially and time-wise to get your CPA license and take the exams, then I would for sure go for it. Without a doubt, it is worth it. It just opens up so many doors, so much opportunity. It puts you ahead of any other candidate when you're applying for jobs, even if the CPA license isn't necessary. And really, from what I've seen in the accounting field, the CPA license kind of goes above and beyond a master's in accounting. So what I mean by that is, let's say you have your master's, you have your MAC, but you don't have your CPA license. If someone else was to apply for a job that has their CPA but not their MAC, they would most likely go with the CPA candidate above the MAC. Now, I can't say that for everybody. I'm not a manager and I don't hire people, but that is the general consensus I've gathered over the years of Googling and researching. But the combination of the both is probably most desirable higher up in companies and whatnot. But also, you don't want to be overqualified and spend all this money on a master's program and be out of all this student loan debt and not really be paid for it in the job. Experience goes a long way as well, but all of that is a whole big cup of worms of opinions, and it just depends on where you live, what city, where you're at in life, like where you plan on going in life, what your goals and dreams and hopes are, those things, you know. The downside of getting pulled over in a small town and having to go to court in a small town is when you're behind 2 tractors trying to get there. And then I passed a school that used to be a barn because they had a silo. They turned it into like what looked like a tower. I don't know, y'all. I cannot with small towns. Not my thing, regardless of what my accent may sound like. I am not a small town lover for sure. They romanticize them in the Hallmark movies and makes it seem all great, but your internet don't work. When the power goes out, it's out for days. You're behind literally tractors on the way. Like, what is fun about this? Y'all, my GPS just put me in the middle of a gravel lot, okay, to turn onto this highway. Well, the road it says road closed. I guess it used to be a road. It's just gravel. There ain't no pave. I had to turn around. Now it's rerouting me. The small town I'm talking about is Athens, Tennessee. I'm going to McMinn, General Sessions Court, McMinn County. Oh, here's the turn. Y'all, a small town, friggin'. Y'all may have heard of Athens, home of Mayfield milk and ice cream. I think they're still regional distributor of milk, so you guys may never heard of them, but that's their pride and joy. They do. Mayfield does have some pretty good haunted houses. This is that same gravel road. Where in the world is this courthouse? Oh my God. I'm never gonna make it. I drove down here for nothing. All right, so I made it, and as soon as I pulled in, there was literally a state trooper out here jumping a car off. Or maybe he's the one getting jumped, I don't know. Somebody's battery died and it looked like the state trooper was helping. Only in a small town. This little courthouse thing that's really tiny is, I guess, where I'm gonna go in and hope for the best. This is my 4th time at traffic court, and I'm only 24 years old, so I've been here a few times. But they've all been in different counties, so they're all different. Once you get 12 points in Tennessee, you lose your license. I currently have 8. So if I get pulled over again going 15 miles per hour or more above, I lose my license. So I'm really hoping there's some sort of help here, but I did just go to online traffic school and obviously I haven't learned my lesson, as the judge would say. So let's hope for the best, cross my fingers. You're not allowed to bring your phone in. I'm gonna take off my Fitbit just to be safe, but they never have clocks in here, so you just sit there for an endless amount of time until you get called up. Here goes nothing. The state trooper guy just sent me back in because you're not allowed to bring in a purse. So literally I have to carry my wallet, and I'm hoping I can have my keys, otherwise I have to leave my car unlocked. Not happening, little heifers. All right, you guys, I'm rolling out of court. 15 hours later. It took a full 2 hours, and that judge was a stickler. That was the most interesting courtroom I've ever been in all of 4 of my court cases. And I got an attorney to represent me for free. Apparently my case was that bad that he volunteered as a court-ordered attorney. And I was like, what does this mean? I was like, how much am I have to pay you? I was like, are my taxes gonna go up? I'm just kidding, I didn't ask him about the taxes. But nothing is free. I learned that in my finance class. We all know that as accountants, but it really was free. So it was nice. So this one lady went up, and the judge said she was driving on a suspended license for 6 months, and she got in trouble or whatever. And so he asked who drove her to court, and she said, well, I did. He said, so you drove on a suspended license again? And she said, well, yeah, how else am I supposed to get to court? And I busted out laughing. I was like, I'm with you, girl. So I don't know what happened to her. Then this other guy got called up for going 90 and a 35. So the judge asked why he was doing that, like what was his side story, and he said, I was racing that dude in the back, and then everyone like turns around and this other guy like waved, and so he has to call him up too. So 2 separate people were getting talked to by the judge, so they're racing each other. That was funny. What else happened? The guy in front of me had a tattoo that said hillbilly, which kind of made me laugh a little bit, and so I'm like looking around the room. The guy, or the lady beside him was cracked out on who knows what drugs. She was twitching and like falling out of her chair. I felt so bad for her. And then the lady beside her, I recognize, I don't know how I know her. I want to say she was either a cafeteria worker at my college or something along those lines, but I know I've seen her in the past few years. But then I looked back over that guy's tattoo and it said Hilly Billy. So then I literally laughed out loud. He turned around and looked at me. It's like silent in this court. So I turned around and looked at the girl beside me to act like she was talking to me, and then she looked at me, so it was really awkward. And then this minor got up there. She was 16 for speeding, and she was only going 5 miles over the speed limit, and that judge suspended her license for 6 months. So she went up before me. I was like, oh my word. I was like, if he is gonna suspend her license. Now she was under 18. I think that was a big deal for him, and so that's why he did that. But oh my word. First of all, I got pulled over going 30 over when I was 16. So that's terrifying. But anyway, so this attorney approaches me, and I go up there, and he asked if he could represent my case, that it was for free, and said that the judge was not gonna let me slide. He may even increase my fine, which I don't know if he's allowed to do that. I think he was just BS in his whole spiel. But that I've already done driving school twice, and the judge only allows you to do 1 in a lifetime. That's just his personal belief. And that if I get pulled over again, I get my license suspended, which I was well aware of. And so he explained everything. He said he can drop my fee down by 80 bucks. He can get rid of a point on my license, and my insurance would go down. So I was like, so what's the catch? He was like, no. He's like, no catch. He said, it's court-ordered attorney. He said, you don't have to accept this. He said, you can go up there and represent yourself and argue with the judge if you want to. He said, I don't know your whole history, so you can say whatever you want. I was like, no, I don't really know, so that sounds good. So then he like laughed, and then I signed that I was guilty. And anyways, very interesting day to say the least. All that being said, I'm done with traffic court. This is gonna be a very long vlog, I can already tell. So now I'm driving further south away from home, down to Cleveland, which is where I went to college, and I'm gonna hang out with Matthew and possibly Michael and Hannah, 2 of our other friends. And I don't know what we're gonna do, so we'll see. And then I'll head back home later today. So it's about a 45-minute drive from Athens. I've got Matthew here. We're gonna go eat some Chili's. We ate here all the time in college, so it's like a tradition. Also, he's moving to Florida. This is literally my last time seeing him in Tennessee, probably. What day are you actually moving?
Sunday.
Oh my god, sooner than I thought. So sad. Okay. We're gonna go. Sorry, there's people like loading in the car beside us. So now we're gonna go to this axe throwing bar, which I'm super pumped for. They have one in Nashville. Apparently they don't have one in Knoxville like they said they do. And we're gonna do the one in Chattanooga with some friends, assuming that Michael and Hannah are actually gonna come, which I'm excited. So
and
yeah.
Alex.
And oh yeah, if she's able to come. So yeah, there may be a few of us. We may be paired up with some randoms, but no well. Looky there.
What's that? Hey, stop.
How do you have 0? Did not wake up today expecting to be throwing axes. That was so much fun and so random, and yes, it's late heading back, but it was so worth it. I love hanging out with my friends. I literally can never say no. Not that I would ever want to, but if anyone asks me to do anything, I am there. Count me in. So I should be home by 11, maybe 10:30, but I don't need to be speeding considering my situation with the law at the moment. So I'll be home about 11. So thank you guys for watching this day. Hopefully I got some of your questions answered earlier. You got to see some of traffic court, random axe throwing, some about work this morning. It's such a random vlog, but hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I will talk to y'all next time. Goodbye.